Enjoy it. Dance around, Maresh, at home at a sold-out stadium.
Breaking news. I'm an idiot. It's got to be a goal. It's got to be a goal. It's on the ground right there, Chad. Wrap it up for the ball. So does Basemo. Kunishevsky. Oh, what a goal. He's pulled the rabbit out of the hat with this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're winning the Streamer Showdown, Season 3. Zealand Shannon, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to a video that I've been considering making for some time, and I wasn't listening to one of my own tips, honestly. I was afraid to make it. I don't know, but I got a few DMs recently that were asking for tips about how to get started on Twitch, and I have a lot of specific thoughts on this because a year ago about this time I was averaging about 15 people on Twitch, and I'm going to go into that same month in November averaging about 500 people average viewers on Twitch. I don't think I'm some sort of magician. I do think that there is an element of luck to it, but essentially the reason that I want to make this is I started this YouTube channel. Well, I took over this YouTube channel to teach people how to play Football Manager because I thought that was just something I would have needed. And so I also think this is a video I would have needed 3 years ago when I started streaming on Twitch. And I enjoy helping people, so I've explained myself enough. Here we go. So since I have 10 tips, I should probably get started. And the first tip, and I promise they're not all gonna be this existential, but I'm serious when I say that the first tip is to just get started. The vast majority of people that want to be Twitch streamers, they don't become that because they never actually start streaming. It is the most important thing. You have to be streaming in order to be a successful streamer, but it is such a weird, difficult hurdle to get over to press the go live for the first time. I'll help you. The first time I streamed, I had no webcam, I had nothing. I just enjoyed the idea of broadcasting me playing video games. I did that for about a month. Every time I'd get on to play video games, I would just broadcast it out into the world. And then eventually I figured out how to get a webcam on my phone. And then eventually I figured out how to get a layout. And then eventually I figured out what game I wanted to play most of the time, which was Football Manager. And that process was like multiple months of me just kind of, when I was down at my computer, I would turn it on. But there's an extra part of this opening segment. Take stock of where you are in your life. If you are married with 2 kids, do not start throwing 12 hours a day into the stream. That's not what I'm telling you to do. That's not what I did. But if you have a bunch of free time, the only reason I started streaming is because I was bored. I had all this free time in my last semester of college. If you have that, sure, throw yourself into it 10, 12 hours a day. Don't do that forever, but maybe you just want to figure out if it's something that you like doing or not. That's perfectly fine. Make sure you take stock of where you are in your life because very rarely will it grow fast enough to justify from day one forsaking your family to invest 10 hours a day. That just doesn't happen. It takes time for you to get comfortable and for you to build a base that can then allow you to succeed in the way that you wanted to. But that relies on the other 9 things that I've wrote down that I want to talk about. Just be smart about it. I don't want to hit the DM like, you told me to invest my life savings in 7 computers. What happens? That's basically the disclaimer. The second piece is that you don't actually grow on Twitch. There are a lot of social media, a lot. I don't even know all of them. I barely am familiar with TikTok, but I can tell you confidently the worst platform to try and grow on individually is Twitch. So I've been making YouTube videos for basically a year, and the only reason that I have a successful social media career at all is because of the 1 year of YouTube videos and not the 3 years of streaming. So when I started making YouTube videos, I started to just reconceptualize what Twitch was. Twitch was not the primary thing. Twitch is where you go to hang out with and really form bonds with the people that are consuming your stuff from elsewhere. That's how I choose to think about it. I know there's a million different ways for people to think about it, but on YouTube in 1 year we've been able to do this and build up an incredible group of people that I just love hanging out with in the comments section. See you there. And then when they want to come hang out with me live, it's on Twitch, and the link is in the description, of course. I mean, even if you are a professional gamer, notice I'm not adding any caveats. If you are a professional gamer creating unique content, I hate that word. Creating stuff that people want to watch on other platforms, anywhere, is going to beat the hell out of streaming for 12 hours a day. And I'm not talking about stream montages, because who in God's green earth wants to watch a stream montage of somebody whose stream they don't watch? Even if it's crazy clips, there's a bunch of professional gamers that you do watch that are laying down crazy clips of you. And it's not me. I'm terrible at that. But you will grow faster every time if you put an emphasis on other platforms, and then you bring that group of people, because streaming on Twitch is super fun. You're hanging out live 4 hours with people and talking about whatever you want to talk about, playing whatever you want to play, and you're hanging out with those people that want to hang out with you. And why do they want to hang out with you? That's the next thing. Number 3. Find something people need. This is what worked for me. I had streamed for 2 years a game called Football Manager, which you may or may not know. You probably know. And it's not a particularly riveting game to stream most of the time. I do my darndest to make it riveting, but it's kind of like playing poker. There are down hands. I did realize the game was difficult. It took me years to get into it. And at a certain point, when somebody came to me and said, hey, do you want to take over this YouTube channel? And there was about 200 subs. I knew nothing about YouTube, but I thought, what would I have wanted to watch? That's my line for basically every YouTube video I ever make. I would have wanted to watch videos that taught me how to play Football Manager, because there was just a stunning lack for a game so complicated of videos teaching you how to play the game that I had spent so much time playing. So I knew I knew it. I knew how to play Football Manager. I didn't necessarily think I was good at it. I still don't, really. I sat down and started making tutorial videos. How to do this, how to do that. And you get more comfortable with titling YouTube videos and learning how that stuff works. But you find something that you would want to watch that doesn't exist, and then you either do it or you learn how to do it. You don't know how to edit. That's a really easy problem to solve. Instead of streaming one day, watch one tutorial and then just start doing it. This is going to require a significant amount of determination to get over this step. This doesn't have to be YouTube, but obviously for me it was, and finding value and finding something that people just haven't gotten that they want helps you get your foot in the door in YouTube, because obviously YouTube is definitely very crowded. Copy people too. Copy away. There's no well, there are a lot of DMCA laws. Don't copy the music. Copy people's styles. If you like watching people, copy the way they do it. Don't copy what they're doing. Copy the way they do it. Because if you do exactly what they're doing, it's just going to be worse than the person you're already watching. Do something a little different, but copy their style until you find your own. I won't tell you whose style I copied, but I definitely did. But we get on to the next one. That's how to pick which direction you want to go. And then once you pick that direction and you learn how to do it, you make a couple of YouTube videos, now you feel comfortable editing. Now you need to learn how the algorithms work. Whichever platform there's a bunch of people that make their living off of that platform. And when there is a bunch of people that make their living off that platform, there is an active, ongoing investigation into how to best game the system. It is called the algorithm. Everybody talks about it on YouTube all the time. What's more important? Is it watch time, or is it click-through rate, or those are basically it. There are a bunch of people that make their career making videos about the algorithm of whatever social media platform outside of Twitch you want to succeed on. There are people that make careers out of videos about how to succeed on Twitch, and typically they're saying a lot of the same things. If you want to watch those people, Devin Nash, Harris Heller are the two people that I watch to stay up on like the industry. Yeah, they're just great. I would watch both of them. I'd listen to Devin Nash like a podcast, and Harris Heller knows the tech side of it very well. Like, you need a new camera or something, he's got you. I'm obviously not going to be making that video because I'm somehow still bad at technology. You are destined to fail if you don't know how the algorithm works. And I just want to say one thing off the top. How the algorithm works is not very favorable to what Dr. Benji does. You are not Ben. You're not Work the Space. You're not Shroud. You're you. You cannot just continue to post bundles of clips of you doming people and get 1 million views, because that's his corner of the market. He's the best FPS player ever. He was doing it before anybody else thought of it, and that's why he's there. You're not the first one to the party on that idea, so you're not going to be able to dance, you know, closer to the front of the conga line. So you figure out how the algorithms work. You find an idea, something that provides value to people, something that you would want to watch. You realize that you can't just sit and stream on Twitch and grow. Now you're actually starting to grow, and then you need to realize that growth is about individual connections. You feel that's my fifth tip. Growth is about individual connections, because it is. I still answer every DM. I read every YouTube comment and respond to it. I interact with chat aggressively. I read every sub and all that stuff. The point is, when I turn on my computer and there are 500 people there, I like to think that each one of those 500 people has had an individual moment with me where we hit it off. I mean, it doesn't feel like it adds up, but if I get 15 to 20 DMs a day across all platforms and I answer them, that's more than 100 people a week that had an individual reaction with me. We had a conversation. We shot the breeze about whatever. They had a question. I answered it. They went, oh, thanks, man. You do that for a month. You do that for a year. Those individual reactions and interactions, they add up. I'm not doing it because I'm like playing some math game. I'm just illustrating that being a nice person and not getting too cool for yourself is a good way to meet a bunch of people. And essentially what the business of Twitch is meeting a bunch of people that will then want to come and sit and hang out with you more than the next guy. Just thank you, by the way. The sixth tip is showcase yourself. People ask why I put my face on all of my videos. My face is there. When a lot of people that made Football Manager videos before I showed up, they didn't have their face anywhere. So I wanted you to know what I look like. Does that sound vain? It was a conscious decision from the first video I made. Maybe this was my stroke of genius. Maybe you find it annoying and you wish I didn't do it. My face was going to be in every video so that we were actually having a conversation. There wasn't the distance of the computer screen between us, so that the jump, let me go hang out with this guy on Twitch live, that jump was not as big. So I make tutorials about Football Manager, but instead of people coming into the tutorials and then they get the information and leave, they come to the tutorials. I crack a few jokes. They normally suck. You don't just leave with the information, or at least some of you, enough of you don't just leave with the information and decide to stick around and see what else is going on. That's the best way I can describe it, but finding a way to brand yourself that makes you more accessible than just what you are doing is probably the best way I'll ever word it, so I'll leave it there. My seventh tip is to always keep pushing. So this is kind of in chronological order is the way that I've set this up, going 1 through 10. The always keep pushing is actually something I'm doing right now. Always try new things. Most of the time, you will strike out. I did a video where I named every country in the world and it just completely bombed. What? And that's fine. I thought it was fun. But it just, enough other people didn't think it was fun. Whatever. I had a great time. I missed one country. I'll save you the trouble. I tried something called saving saves. I had no idea how it was going to work. I had a bunch of people sign up to submit their saves, and I would literally just go through them, say, hey, you're doing this, you're doing that. And that is like the most successful thing we do on the entire stream. Like double the viewership. We've figured out a knee-jerk reaction that watching live sports on Football Manager was a lot of fun. Like me not even playing the game, but just watching the game simulate things was a ton of fun just because we tried it out. Try new things all the time, because how many times have you been watching somebody that you've enjoyed, and then after a while, you just kind of stop watching them because they're not really doing anything anymore? You know they'll be doing the same thing when you come back. So you just kind of, I think, constantly trying new things. Not so much that you change who you are. Like I still make a bunch of Football Manager tutorials, but now I do 3 videos a week, and one of them doesn't have anything to do with Football Manager. This is the video for this week where we're just helping people in another way, hopefully. Then the key is you start making money. You're doing all of these things. It's working. You get a check for $500. What do? Don't buy the new monitor. Don't. What is going to make your stuff better? So you take that $500 and you turn it into this beautiful Sony A5100 camera. Or you take that $500 and you invest it in an editor. That's what I did. Reece made more than I did for like 2 months. The editor of this YouTube channel. Hi, Reece. I cannot tell you how many times people grab that money and they just go buy like 10 games. Invest in things that are going to improve your content. In a better camera, in a better microphone, a Go XLR, in a stream deck, in an editor, and a couple of new scenes. Like you need to be able to hit it with the... You should also probably invest in a computer that can handle that transition at the resolution that I film YouTube videos at. I've never tried to do the transition during a YouTube video because I film at a higher resolution. So maybe I need to invest in a new computer. Take my own advice. That's not cheap, but doing stuff like that is just, 1, really freaking fun, 2, makes the stream more entertaining to watch. Number 9, on that note, Try and be the best. This was always straightforward to me. Maybe that sounds weird. Why would you try and do something and not be the best at it? Like when I started playing basketball, I was like, oh, I'm going to be the best basketball player ever. That clearly worked. And here we are. But you should look at people that are better than you and try to beat them. Not like in a savage, ultra competitive way, but like push yourself to try to be better than them. And so I have a rule on my Twitch stream that the screen's got to change every 20-30 minutes. If the screen hasn't changed in 30 minutes, I've failed myself. Right? I don't just sit in the corner. I can go all over the place, right? I can go here. I can go here. I can go here. And you're looking at my script right now, so we're going to go back. Push yourself at this point. And if you've made it all the way to number 9, then I mean, congratulations. You just have to keep that fire, because you are competing with literally everybody else in the world for people's attention. There are a lot of people demanding what little free time people have to be spent with them. Make it worth it. And the last part is be honest. This is just a personal pet peeve. I'm completely honest about sponsorships, about how much money I make. I am completely honest about why I do things, why I don't do things. I made a video just called Thank You, where I talked about this for like 15 minutes. Being an actual honest human being is so much better than being an internet snake oil salesman. This is like the last step. This is something that I've been engaged in much more recently, is conversations about, well, why did you say, like, Raid Shadow Legends offered me this amount of money to play the game. This is why I didn't do it. This is why I don't care if you did. Like, have those conversations. Maybe part of your branding is you don't want to have those conversations. You just want to stay in character the whole time. I think being honest is one of the most valuable things if you are on the internet. That's just like a life tip. Just be honest. The internet's got enough people lying to everybody else all the time. Be honest as yourself. You'll be okay. All right. I'll see you guys in a stream. I'll see you guys in another video. Stay beautiful. Easy breezy and beautiful. Actually, is that the cover? Am I gonna get DMCA'd for that?